Today I have an awesome haul to show to you guys. Value Village is open back up, and sure enough, I went. I had to line up for quite some time, but I did manage to get in, and I did manage to find some stuff. But just before we go into all that stuff, I had some sales that came through, and I think it's only right that we go through those first. So first of all, I had some sales that I packed earlier this week, and I have a clip from that. I'm going to roll that here in a second, but real quick before I roll that, I want to let you guys know that if you are new to the channel and you like these kind of videos, if you want to let me know, make sure to leave a like on them, but also, again, if you're new, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss videos like these in the future. And yeah, why don't we start off here? Again, I sold some things earlier in the week, over the weekend, I actually think, and then I shipped them out early, this week. So why don't we go ahead, roll that clip, see what sold there, and then we'll move on to what we're doing today. Okay, guys, so I want to take a quick second here and take you guys through what sold over the weekend. Got quite a few good items here that I'm pretty happy with, and lots of variety in the video games, which is nice to see for sure. And then a few wholesale items down here. So why don't we start off with those? First of all, we got a gold key ring for a smartphone case. I don't know, it sold for like $4 or something from the wholesale store. Also, we got some mini dice from the wholesale store. I'm not sure what those sold for, but you guys can see that on the screen, of course. Now we're going to go ahead and break down the video games. First of all, we got Mass Effect 2 for the Xbox 360. We got Soldier of Fortune Double 2 Helix. Let's see here. We got Skate 3 for the PlayStation 3. This is a game. What is in this again? Oh, right. Power Drum for the PS2. It's just a loose copy in a case or in a replacement case. Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. Then we've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Then we've got Star Wars The Complete Saga. Then we've got Dark Void. Then we've got My Hero Doctor. And then finally we've got Tetsu Return from Darkness for the Xbox. So that's a look at everything that's sold overall. Again, really happy with it. And it's not a record day by any means, but we got some pretty good sales going out here today. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so a few sales that came through there, a few video games, a few other random miscellaneous items, I believe, but not too bad at all, right? So that brings us to today. Today is Friday, and again, I went to Value Village. You may have seen it. Actually, there was a YouTube Shorts on it. You guys probably already saw what I picked up, but I want to basically go into some more depth in terms of what I bought and actually talk about what I think we can make on it and just a few other things. So I'm excited to get into that here. Again, we have a couple items that we had to ship out today, but we'll take a break from that for a second, and we'll head over and take a look at what we got from Value Village. Okay, here's a look at all of the things I picked up from Value Village. Actually, technically not everything. There is one other thing, but we'll take a look at that a little bit later. But let's start off here, just breaking down maybe the video games here that I picked up. Got a few of them. Starting off with Need for Speed Carbon, about a $20 game there. Picked that up for $4.99. These are all $4.99 each. We got Tony Hawk Shred. I actually meant to put this one back, but I think it's worth like $12, $13. But anyway, for $4 or $5, we'll make a little bit of profit there. Also, we got Midnight Club Los Angeles. So a decent game there, about $15 all day long. So that's good. Now, I was looking at the board games. I probably had about 10 of them in my cart, and I ended up just going with one of them after price comping them all. This was the only one with a good enough sell-through rate and a good enough sell price to actually make us any money. This is some original memory game. Paid $4.99 on that guy right there. And again, should make about $25 or so on it. It'll probably sit for like a month or two, but again, it's like really easy money. Just take a couple pictures and list it. So no testing or anything there, and I'm always looking out for new and sealed board games. Let's talk about a couple of the phones that I picked up. Got this first one here, which is a Panasonic. Not sure what I paid. Actually, I think the price tags are not on these anymore, but I think it was like $5.99 or whatever. This one has the base. If you guys know, if you guys do sell these with the base, often goes for more. So this is not too bad of a find. It's a little dirty, you're gonna need a clean, but I just sold one like this recently, so we should be able to get some good money on this, probably about $30 or so, and maybe $25, $30 depending on how it cleans up. And yeah, should be overall a good sale. Also grabbed this Panasonic unit, which has a full base but no cables, so that's always unfortunate, but again, we still will be looking at some good money because it is one of the base systems and not just an extra or replacement unit. So this should again bring in maybe up to $40, but likely closer to about $25, $30. I think we paid $6.99 on these. I paid up for these, but I didn't know how long it was going to be till I could go again to Value Village, so I wanted to spend as much time and money there as I could, so I decided to pay up a little bit more here. And, we'll probably sell it for, again, $25, $30, and it'll be a decent profit there. And then finally, we have this PS3, the backwards compatible model, paid $24.99 on it. And this one it's a little bit unfortunate. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. Now, I kind of knew that going into it because it was giving me some trouble at the store in terms of turning on and whatnot. And, I mean, for the price, $24.99, these units, if they're good and working, can easily bring in $200. And I've seen them go on the high end for, close to $300. So somewhere in between that range. And, that's why I always like looking at them and picking them up. They are a really valuable unit. But even not working, I knew I could get probably $70, $80 out of this, just as is condition.
which is probably what we'll end up doing here. I'm not super handy, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to fix the issue that I'm having where it's just sort of powering off now after a few seconds of it being green, which is kind of frustrating. But nevertheless, $24.99 on this, even at an $80 flip, that's a good amount, and I'm happy with it still. Now, the one thing that's missing from all this stuff that we just picked up, and you may have seen it in the YouTube shorts, was a ton of Lego. And I actually picked up like probably, I think it was 15 bags of Lego at $5 or $6.99 each. Came out like just under $100 worth of Lego, but it was cool stuff. It was old stuff, so the yellow faked heads. It was also all pirate themed for the most part. So what I've been doing is I've actually taken it to a different table. I've been going through it all. I won't show you guys today because it's just so messy, but I've been going through it all, sorting out what's Lego and what's not. There were a couple various other toys thrown in. So I've got all the Lego out into a bin. It's probably filling about half of a tub right now. And I'll probably bulk sell a lot of it, but there was a couple special items that I think are from certain sets. And by the looks of it, it looks like I have all the parts. So I might try to put together a few of the sets and see if I can get those complete. If I can, we're talking like $100 a set easily on some of the vintage ones I've looked up. So we could potentially be looking at like maybe 2 sets, that's like $200, and then like $100, you know, for the actual bin full of the bulk Lego. If not, we'll probably be looking at still at least, you know, minimum, if I can't get any sets complete, we're probably looking at like 100, maybe even 150 as is for the lot. And if I can get the sets complete, again, even if I just get one, that's going to be 100 plus 100. We're probably talking $200 minimum. So really happy about that find. It's not like the easiest thing to deal with, but it's also not hard at all. You just go through it all, make sure all the bricks say Lego to the best of my ability. I try. And yeah, I'm just going to bulk it up like that. We did have some success selling it last time. Yeah, last time we sold a lot. I don't know if it was like 4 or 5 pounds for like $30 or something. It was the vintage stuff, not very clean at all, but it sold fast. So I'm excited about it, and I'm thinking that we can make some really good money on it. Also, plenty and plenty of minifigures as well, which I might do a separate lot for. I'm not sure, but I'm still breaking it all down and checking out what we got. Okay, so with that stuff all gone through, now I think it's time to head over to the shipping table to see what the heck we sold and what we had to ship out today. Okay guys, so here's a look at all the video games that are going out today. I know it's not too much, but I mean, we sold them for a pretty good amount, and I'm not too, you know, upset about this at all. This is a decent amount of sales here, and we sold them for a decent price for the most part. So anyway, we'll start off here with Skate 3 for the Xbox 360, and then we sold Ace Combat 6 for the Xbox 360, sold the original Assassin's Creed for the Xbox 360, sold Metal Gear Solid 2 for the PlayStation 2, and we also sold Lord of the Rings The Two Towers for the PlayStation 2. Not bad at all, super quick to pack all these sales up, and I'm just going to go ahead and get that done right now. Okay guys, so with those orders packed, I wanted to move on to another little segment of today's video. This isn't a proper Ask Commonlad, but I wanted to reply to a few of your comments just to give a little bit of insight into what we're doing here. I always enjoy reading your comments and answering them on the camera here, but I've been reading a few good ones, so I want to go through those really quickly. Let's start off with a comment here from Justin. It says, I'm trying to get started selling and people are telling me it's going to be tough because I have no feedback. Does feedback impact your sales? Now listen, I've talked about this before. In fact, in my beginner's guide to reselling, which you might want to check out, Justin, has a whole breakdown of how you actually go about starting with no feedback and how you can acquire some of those first few pieces of feedback. But to answer your question, yes, feedback definitely does affect sales, and it impacts them greatly. I mean, you know, as an eBay buyer myself, I'm not particularly looking to buy anything from anybody with no feedback. But there are a few simple ways around this that I've sort of broken down in the past, but obviously you can buy really cheap things, get your first 15, 20 pieces of feedback that way, but I actually don't recommend that. I think it's, you know, for anybody that's actually looking at your feedback, it's far more important to have feedback as a seller versus as a buyer. So one way to do that is just to find a bunch of lower priced items that you know you can do a really good job selling, testing, whatever, making sure the buyer has the best experience, and selling some of those just at a, you know, faster volume, maybe discount some of your original items so you can really move them and get those first few pieces of feedback. But again, lower priced items that you can, again, move quickly, that you won't necessarily get scammed on or have a negative feedback land on your page. That way you can get, you know, let's say 20 things right out the door and you can get some feedback from those. And that should be just enough to get you started up. But really, to answer your question, yes, feedback is important and you do need to have it on your page in order to sell things. Jordan says, just reached out to eBay and they raised me from 100 to 250 listings. Thanks for the tip. And Jordan, you're referring to the calling eBay tip or suggestion that I made in my beginner eBay video guide.
And this is a really important one that I want to just go over here. I know this wasn't a question per se, but this was a comment about this. But yeah, if you're just starting out, and this kind of applies to the last comment, if you want to get your listings raised, aka, you know, they limit you to how many listings you can have right off the bat when you sign up for eBay, you can actually call them and get those raised. And this is just proof that it still does work, which is always awesome to hear. I've called them many times when launching new stores, and I just got on the phone with them, explained to them what I was trying to sell or what I was trying to do on their platform, and most of the time, like 99%, they were able to raise my listings significantly to allow me to list way more items for a way higher price. Are those galley bins from Dollarama? I bought a ton of those, and man, they are awesome. Yes, these are definitely the ones I think that he's talking about right here, because I have so many of them. And yes, they're from Dollarama, but unfortunately it looks like mine at least doesn't carry them anymore. I'm not sure why. That's actually why I initially switched over to using now a box system from Uline, and I can store more games like that, so I prefer that. But definitely if you're starting out with media and you can find these bins at your local Dollarama, they're great. I just know I get that question all the time, but what bins I use, those are them right there. And again, they're from, I think Plastico. They're like the big ones from the dollar store. They're great for storing media. Final comment here, guys, and this one's from Mattia, and this is actually a tip for us as sellers. This is a really good one. I personally write on a little piece of paper that I include with the items that I ship a thank you message and ask the buyer to leave a positive feedback. It works well. Now, this is something that I've thought about doing, but I was a little bit worried about the cost of getting those all printed, and actually, I just have been too lazy almost to execute it, but this is definitely a great point. If you're just starting out as a seller on eBay, or actually if you've been doing it forever, I think this is a really valuable tip to get more and more feedback on your page, is to actually put a little letter or a note or whatever it is with the package that you're sending, just asking the buyer kindly if they can leave some feedback on your page. Super valuable though. I have heard of this before, but this comment has certainly reminded me of it, and I think after reading this, I might go out and actually get a few printed, or again, you can just write them by hand. But anyway, that's one way to definitely improve the feedback that you're getting and to get more and more buyers to leave positive feedback on your page. Guys, with that said, that is actually going to end today's video here. We didn't have a whole lot to do, but we did get through a bunch of things that we bought at Value Village, and we did some shipping, which was fun. And that's all the time I have today, though, unfortunately. So we're going to have to wrap things up here. Hopefully you guys found some value in this, though, and enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to let me know by either leaving a like on the video or letting me know with a comment down below. Also, if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer, or if you have any tips for any of us as resellers, I'd really appreciate hearing those down below in the comments as well. If you're new to the channel, again, be sure to subscribe, and with that, I'm going to see you guys all in the next video.